Happy Monday, everybody. Today I gotta be kind of quiet because Chris is over there taking a nap. I had to come in here though. You remember a few days ago, I said the weather was mild. Well, now it's humid as fuck. I I got halfway out the door and the humidity hit me so hard that it almost melted my face right off. So it's gonna be a rough summer. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you something else that has been just bugging me lately. I want I don't want to go to school anymore. I'm tired of it. Everything has just gotten so much more difficult. It's hard to keep up. Maybe that's not the school for me because the courses only last 8 weeks instead of semesters. Now at community college, it took a whole semester to learn how to learn Python and programming languages and how to learn digital forensic. All of those took semesters to learn those, and now you only have 8 weeks to master them, and then you also have a huge project as well to prove your mastery of it, and that's within the 8 week period. I really I either really need to change schools or I need to find something else to do. Because I don't know how much longer I can hold on like this. You know, I, I tried but I don't want to quit altogether because we do need the money. And my old job was hell. I mean, the work was easy, everything else, but it was the management. Um, I had I had IBS, and it especially flares up during stressful situations, like if I'm going to work or going somewhere out of public. It'll flare up. So I would have to spend more time than usual in the restroom. They would get on their walkie-talkies and they would come in there and try to get me to come out and hurry up. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that. Nope. So I had to leave that job. I don't want to go back there because it's just going to be worse because they already got worse when I left. When we were on at home during the COVID thing. Everything was fine at first. We were doing our jobs just like usual, and then all of a sudden, they wanted us to be on camera. They gave us these little webcams and told us to put these little backgrounds up and have the customers see you and all this. I'm like, we did not do this at the call center. There were no face reveals. Why are we doing this now? Why do you need to see my face? You know? So they just got out of pocket over there. The last good place I worked at was this place in Knoxville, kind of like an hour away. But I used to live out there, so it wasn't that bad. They don't pay as well as my old job that I used to have, but it you can put up with a lot of stuff more because they don't micromanage like my last job does. There's two things that I don't like in the workplace. One is manual labor. I promised myself when I got out of the military that I would never do any manual labor jobs ever, because they pushed me to my limit almost. You know, I couldn't carry the 70-pound bullets, so they told me to go work out. I worked out till I was sore, and I still couldn't pick them up. So, you know, yeah, I would have normally been out today on the front lawn, just chilling and enjoying the great outdoors, but it's just, we got the AC on and it's still humid. It doesn't even go back there to my room where I go in there and, regularly film. I think I mentioned that in one of the older videos that the AC doesn't reach the other side of the house. Okay, side note, y'all remember in my stolen identity video, y'all remember this fucking dick cheese in the fucking comments talking about your video is bad, you didn't even try, I would unlike it and all that. And I was just thinking, I was like, he doesn't have a single piece of content on his channel. Who is he? And he must be going off of these other professional YouTubers. I'm like, they have money to put little European, like neon backgrounds on their wall and all this fancy recording equipment and backgrounds and all that. I don't have the money for that. So that's the best I can do. So, if that guy sees this, well, fuck you. But, yeah, a lot of people don't understand. Some people don't have the means to do this as a job, and we just make do with what we have. I just want to be seen and heard. I don't want to be like a major YouTuber, because that's when you fall under scrutiny and people go and dig up your past informations and everything, and I don't need that. I don't need that. Because I'm sure if they can't find anything, they'll probably manufacture it. I have schoolwork that was supposed to be due last night. I didn't want to do it. I didn't do it. So I'm gonna work on it today. One of them, the farthest I got, was just like the title of the essay. I didn't even type the first sentence. I couldn't. I don't know where to start. I know that there's rules with using AI for references. For academic purposes, but hey, if I don't have the answer and I don't have time to read a 36-page, actually more than that, a 86-page, 3 chapters of a book, I don't have time for that. Give me 3 seconds and Google will tell me all the answers. And I always remind me of that. It's just that even that makes me not want to do anything. But I'm going to try and get something done today. get something done today and another thing done tomorrow. I'm not gonna drive myself into some psychotic episode or anything just because I didn't finish my work on time and my GPA and all that shit. I can't. It won't. It. I won't let it kill me. You know. I've tried for less. So. This is the most comfortable place in the house, though. This is my side of the bed. I don't want to show you any more of it because it's really messy over here. Y'all remember that time? Chris Chan showed a tour of his house, and it was like a big ass hoarder house. Like you couldn't even walk the floor in there. And his dad come in there and started yelling and cursing, and he was like, "Take that off the internet. Take that off the internet." And I was like, once it's on the internet, it is forever. I'm like, you may have deleted it off your profile, but somebody captured it because I was able to see it later. Oh, man. What a day. Anything to stall the time before I have to do any work. If there was another desk job available that wasn't as stressful as the one that I had before, which was basically a white-collar sweatshop, having another job similar to the one I had that is not quite as unbearable as that one was. Because I have two choices. I can either find a different school or find a job that will fit. Now, the second option is harder because you can't control whether or not somebody hires you. So it could be the most ideal position in the world, but you might not get it. And you'll end up having to work at Taco Bell or something. And, no. I'd sleep in a vehicle before I worked at Taco Bell. I've done fast food when I was 27. I'm done. Yeah, I'm kind of too old for that. You gotta remember, I'm almost 50 years old. And I think I'm starting to go through the change. I don't know if there's any ladies out there, any older ladies about my age, y'all know what the change is. I'm about to go through the change because I've been extremely moody, and it doesn't take much for me to cry. I mean, these are more hormonal changes that affect your mood. I don't know what it's like on the other side, though. But they told me that I can't take estrogen because I had a pulmonary embolism back in 2013. That if I had not gone to the hospital in time, I would have been dead. Because there was a blood clot in my lungs that was going to find its way up to my heart. So If I'd have stayed home and not gone to the hospital, I'd be dead. So, so that's why I can't take estrogen, because the blood clot risk, which is really gonna be a disadvantage for me with all this going on, because I've always read that supplementing with estrogen is really what alleviates your menopausal symptoms and process. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I probably just have to just wait and see what happens. If they do anything about it at all. A lot of times doctors don't do anything because they're afraid to treat, especially if the doctor is yep, you saw that. And I've worked in the medical industry before, in the healthcare industry, and it is dominated by, and that means that when patients come in who look like me, often have our symptoms dismissed or overlooked, or given medication that is basically ineffective, or which had not been tested on that demographic, so we don't know how it will react. There's a lot. I don't know if anybody knows this, but there's a lot of racism in the medical community. And it's not like using the N-word in the hallway or anything like that. It is structural. It is structural. I think I got out of there as soon as I could. This is just office politics and drama, and the doctors were so hard to get along with, except for this one that I used to work for, one of the founding doctors of the practice. And he was cool. Everybody else were freaking asses. And this one lady that came on later, was brought in from her own practice. She brought her own staff with her. She brought technicians and scribes and all that. I'm like, we got plenty of those here. Why do you need them? Because all they do is look down their nose at us. That's what they did. All they did was look down their nose at us and told us that we should learn something from them. Like who made you an instructor? You've been doing this job just as long as I have. I mean, it's just shit like that. It makes it hard to put up with. It's hard to put up with in any industry for me, because I have so much problems with. I have problems with people. I don't take to. Well, it depends on who and the style of authority that I will be accepting of. And even though this is a controversial point, according to my parents, but respect is not given blindly, but it is earned. I was expected to give respect blindly. So this is part of the reason why I have these family pain problems, because when I tell them the truth about how I was treated, everybody gets affected. Everybody gets offended. And they run to their victimhood complex. They're like, oh, you should be so grateful and in the middle. I did the best I can. I'm like, no, you didn't. If you did the best you could, you would have learned how to raise a kid without hitting them. And then say that that's what black families do. I'm like, so you know every black person in America. You know all of them? All of them. Really? So, and I think, and then also I read that the reason why black mothers hit their kids is because it's a vestige of the slavery days, when if the kid did something that was out of pocket or would get them in trouble, the mother would beat the kid so the master couldn't get to him, because she knew that the master would be 10 times worse on him. So it's because it's ingrained in our DNA for generation after generation. There are the majority of black parents still think that they need to hit their kids. And there's I used to follow this fellow, the situational therapist, and he provided all these resources and receipts about what are the long-term effects that happens when you hit your kid. So a few of them I identified with. One of them was girls who get hit puberty very early. So I had a bra when I was 8. Okay? That's not normal. Also, this is for boys and girls. If your parents hit you at any sign of disagreement or wrongdoing or questioning, you will grow up and think that violence is the answer to every conflict, at which you will quickly learn the consequences of, because the world is not like your mom.